Hi guys, hope you're all really good and welcome to week 5, day 2. Yesterday we discussed determination and I always want you guys to remember that story. The story about the baby never not getting back up every time he falls over until he can walk, and also the determination of a baby screaming when it's hungry. It's not been taught determination. It instinctively knows that if it just doesn't give up, eventually it will get fed. Start treating your goals with that same attitude, okay? Imagine treating all your goals like that. I just will not give up until I get it. I will not be quiet until I get what I want. That's how important you should treat your own goals, okay? So the second most important thing for me, and I've broken this down into 3 parts, with keeping your dream alive or having the power to keep your dream alive, is courage, okay? And we hear people talk about fear all the time, facing your fears, overcoming your fears, feel the fear and do it anyway. Another great book if you want to read it. But we rarely ever hear people talk about courage, okay? And for me, it's a much better word. It's like the difference between dreams and hope. Hope is wishy-washy. Dreams are something I really want to go out and get, okay? Again, fear to me is the negative side of it. Fear is my enemy. Courage is what I want to encourage, okay? I want to encourage you to be courageous. Now, courage is the art of being the only one who knows you are scared, okay? And I'm going to tell you this right now, hand on heart, every single day something scares me, okay? That doesn't make you a wimp, it doesn't make you weak, it's just natural, okay? It's a natural emotion within the body, just like the determination is, just like your attitude is, just like all these different ways that we react to different situations. We're born with them all, but we build them over time, okay, as to what's most important. So if you are looking to break through to the next level of your life, okay, be it your body or your business or your personal development, there will always be massive fear, okay? And I wrote down a few examples here of my own, which I'll come on to and go back towards the end, but there'll be very different ones. So obviously rugby, and when I did Thai boxing and MMA, I was very scared. I was scared on the pitch, I was scared in the ring, and I will come on and tell you some more about that. I was scared when I did my story on Facebook. I was scared when I launched my own business. You know, you get scared to say sorry. I'm scared that people are going to laugh at me. I'm scared of public speaking. I'm scared of not being liked. I'm scared of hurting people. Okay, these are just a million different emotions that we go through every day, all of us, okay? And you have to understand that that's completely natural. But fear will cripple you and it will stop you doing pretty much everything that you want to do that will take you to the next level of the game, okay? So this is when you need courage the most. And again, you need to understand that courage is built through repetition of going through fearful situations and then realizing that they're not actually that bad, okay? We're all born with it, but some of us go on to develop it and be exceptionally courageous because we go the hard yard, okay? We go the path of most resistance. We take the difficult road and we go through it and we stop looking for shortcuts and we don't look for the easy way out. And then that courage builds with repetition of doing it over and over again, okay? Courage is resistance to fear, okay? I'm going to set you guys some homework again at the end of this, but just like negative thoughts will never go away, as we discussed last week, we just want to replace them with positive ones. And remembering that having negative thoughts doesn't make you a negative person, okay? Having negative thoughts is completely natural. Positive people just don't allow them to control their lives, okay? So it's exactly the same. Just like training muscles, just like going for a run, just like any form of training, okay? The more you train courage, the more you will improve it, the stronger your character will get, and the better you will be at coping with fear, okay? Think of courage and fear as two things that fight each other. So I'm going to use a really, really simple example here because we've all been through this situation, haven't we? Back at school, early days, going through puberty, hormones racing all over the shop, boy fancies girl or girl fancies boy. This then might go through right into current life now. You might still be struggling with this in your 40s, 50s, 60s, I don't know. Probably not in your 60s, you probably don't tend to give a hoot by that age, do you? But asking a girl or a boy out, okay? And you have to think one of the best ways to cope with fear is to visualize the outcome you want, but it's also to think of the worst case scenario, okay? So let's use me as an example, okay? If I was younger and I was 18, okay? So you see an absolutely stunning girl in a bar. She's the most beautiful girl there. You absolutely fancy the pants off her, but you just crippled with fear, okay? You can't even think about going and saying hello or anything at all because you're worried, okay? And if you have to think about it realistically, okay? So you just walk straight up to the girl and go, hi, how you doing? You know, my name's Lee. Saw you from over there. Think you're really attractive. Could I buy you a drink? What is the worst thing that's going to happen? She could laugh and just go, oh, you having a laugh? At which point you'll probably walk away a little bit embarrassed and forgotten about it 5 minutes later, okay? The next best thing that could happen is she says, yeah, of course you can. And you end up dating the man/woman person of your dreams, all because you had the balls to go up to them and ask them, okay? And then the worst one for me is I would much rather them laugh at me and say no, is that just don't try at all, because then you will never get anywhere. And that's the attitude that some of you are applying to your, relationships or careers or your training or your learning or any area of your life. You're actually just not doing anything. And that's the worst place to be, okay? And that's when fear is crippled with you. And if you're that person, that's when you need to start working on courage, okay? Because if you want to progress, trust me, hand on heart, courage is what matters the most, okay? Courage to say yes to new opportunities, courage to say no to things that lead you down the wrong path, courage to stand alone, courage to fight, courage to be part of a team, courage to not give up, courage to start over, courage to say sorry, courage to forgive yourself and others. Courage just goes right across the board, okay? You need it, and if you don't currently have it, you need to work on it, okay? Starting now, and you've got some epic homework at the end of this. So you will probably be thinking, well, how do I build courage? It's not like building a muscle, is it? I don't really know what to do, okay? So I've compiled 3 top tips for you that I hope will help you to, number 1, control your fear, okay? So I grew up in an environment of fair poverty and violence, so fear was never far from the door. I then went on to play rugby, I went on to do MMA, went on to do Thai boxing, went on to do boxing. More recently, DJing in front of very large crowds, speaking in front of a camera, doing a Facebook Live for the first thing. And trust me, hand on heart, I still get scared every single time, okay? Every time I do a big gig, like I remember me and Steve being backstage at Hideout last year, when there were 2,000 or 3,000 people there, and we took these 2 young lads with us who were staying in our hotel, and we let them come on our guest list, and they were saying, don't you get like scared? Aren't you like shitting yourself? I mean, they'd like never been on a stage before. They were like, just look at it. And I was like, yeah, of course I do. I'm absolutely crapping my pants into the middle of next week that I might mess that first mix up, but I'm just learned to deal with it, okay? And I've learned to not show you, and you can't tell and they can't tell. And it's the same situation in a ring or fighting or rugby or any types of those things. Very often the winner will be the most scared person, but they learn to control that fear and channel it. And that's what you need to do in order to be successful, okay? Successful people don't not get scared, okay? They're not as confident as you think. They're not as strong as you think. They have just trained themselves to deal with it better and learn how to control it, okay? So that brings me on to number 2, and you'll be like, well, how do I do that? Well, you do that. There is only one way to do that, okay? By doing it. by facing your fears, okay? Fear will exist and control and cripple your life until you stand up and face it, okay? But once you start to face fear, it's like the grip loosens, okay? And you start to become stronger and fear starts to become weaker and you become more courageous. But if you keep avoiding fear, it's like fear gets stronger then, because it's like every time I scare you, you just back off and don't do it. So I'm going to completely control and destroy your entire life because I'm 100% and you're 0, okay? Even if you start shifting the balance, we've done the seesaws before, haven't we? But you know, you're 20% more courageous and fear's only 80%. Well, that's like being 20% positive and 80% negative. It's still a lot better when it was 100%, and you'll keep nudging it up over the time. And every time you beat fear, you'll put a proverbial notch on the courage bedpost, okay? And more notches and more notches and more notches until all of a sudden, hang on, I'm not really feeling scared in any situations now. And I'll tell you a really, like you guys know that, well, probably know by now that my granddad brought me up. And I want to tell you an epic story about a rugby match and how he taught me to do that, okay? So, you know, these fearful situations, I used to be petrified. Look at them as scary situations, but look at them as adventures, okay? Look at them as challenges. Look at them as opportunities to grow stronger, because they are the only things that will make you stronger. So you do need to be grateful for them. You do need to embrace them, and you do need to go smash them, okay? So number 3 is doing what you fear, okay? So I'm going to go through a little bit of my rugby career because I always remember this story and I absolutely love it. I started playing when I moved back to live with my grandparents when I was about 13 or 14, I think, from memory. I started playing, some of the people in here will know the group. I think Melanie Shillings from down that area, she's from Luton. I used to play for a team called Hitchin in Hertfordshire, Hitchin Hedgehogs. And I started playing men's first 15 rugby when I was 15 years old, okay? I was very, very fast and I was very, very small. I was about 9.5 stone wet through to the bone, okay? So stepping up to men's first 15 rugby, I was absolutely petrified, okay? These were men. I was still a boy. And I used to just avoid contact, okay? If I could look back now and watched it, it must have looked hilarious, because if I got the ball, I could skin people and I could score, and I was great and I was the happiest person on the pitch. But as soon as one of their big players got the ball and ran towards me, I would like literally just dive out of the way, okay? Completely petrified. And all teams seem to have that, just one massive player, didn't they? And what I wasn't realising over time is that players start to sense that, okay? It's like, he's the weakest link on the wing. He can't tackle. He's the smallest. He's the weakest. So I'm going to bully him. I'm going to batter him. I'm going to smash him. I'm going to make sure he doesn't want to come back. And that's what I then learned. And my granddad took me to one side one day, because it was actually getting quite embarrassing how poor my tackling was compared to my attacking play. And he just explained it in a way when he said, you know, the guy might be bigger than you, but if you smash his knees together and you hold on around his legs, he's going to hit the ground. And the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And when he falls, he's going to feel stupid because you're half his size, but you've just knocked him down. And if you knock him down as hard as you physically can, he is not going to run back into you like that again. So get yourself up. The next time he gets the ball, forget everything else. Hit him low, hit his knees and smash him, okay? He was a colonel in the army, by the way. He did kind of say it in that fashion. So, and that's exactly what I did. And I absolutely smashed one of their biggest players. And from that day on, I wasn't afraid to tackle on a rugby pitch. Nothing happened. I didn't get injured. In fact, I got a massive cheer. And the next time he got the ball, he tried to sidestep me rather than just running through me. And I stopped getting bullied, okay? So that's kind of a cool story that I always remember. That was one of the very early things that helped me to start overcoming fear. And it is just doing it, you know. Again, first boxing match or first fight, you're absolutely petrified. But once you've done it 5, 10, 15, 20 times, it's just a fight. And rugby became just another game. Okay, you don't think about getting injured, you don't think about getting hurt, because you've gone through it over and over again. So that's something that you guys need to apply to situations, be it your training, your nutrition, your mindset, anything else you're going through in life, whatever. And this is what we're going to come on to, excuse me, whatever the difficult things are that you are not doing because of fear, you need to start doing them. And when you do, fear will go, courage will grow, and you will get stronger. Okay, now Zig Ziglar, okay, he's a massive famous American motivational speaker. I don't know if anyone's heard of him, but he summed up the best acronym for fear, okay, and it's false evidence appearing real. So if you think about this situation, so this is kind of what happens. So you start thinking about that tackle. He's 16 stone, I'm 9 stone. What are the outcomes? He's probably going to smash me. I'm probably going to get hurt. I won't be able to play next week. And I'm going to look really stupid, and I'm petrified, and then imagination takes over, and then fear feeds it. And all of a sudden, you're running in the opposite direction on the pitch because you've allowed your mind to take control, okay? False evidence appearing real. You know, the same with boxing. I'm going to get knocked out in the first punch. Everyone's going to laugh at me. I might get seriously injured. Again, going back to the situation with asking the boy or the girl out, you know, all these horrific things could happen and everyone could laugh at me when, you know, it's all false evidence appearing real. Your imagination takes over, fear feeds it, and you have to take control, because if you allow those feelings to take control, you will just never do anything, okay? And you know, that's what today's lesson was mainly about, okay? Courage. And, you know, I've made some very, very tough decisions in my life, and I now know that they were the right decisions, and it was making those really difficult situations, going the hardest route, asking for help, doing the difficult things, and doing the things that scared me the most, that have built my character the most, okay, and have made me feel strong. So homework, we have done some homework for a couple of days, have we? So your homework is very, very simple, but this will be life-changing if you do it properly and take it seriously, as all the other homeworks. So sit down, get a pen and paper, and just take 15, 20 minutes out and think about what decisions do you need to make today and moving forward every day of your life to lead a better, happier, and more successful life. That's all I want you to do. If anyone's got an absolutely giant set of balls / ovaries, I would love to see you post them either on this video on YouTube or in the group. Okay, again, most of you will be scared to do that. So if you are scared to do that, how do you deal with it? How do you overcome it? You face it head on. Be courageous. I hope to see some posts. Take care, guys. Have an awesome day.